What's up, everyone? I'm Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review, where today I'm going to be talking about Megan Thee Stallion's new album, Good News.
Real hot girl shit.
Let me start by saying that I was looking forward to this album. I'm a big Megan Thee Stallion fan. Even back when Weekend in Texas, that was the first song I ever heard, and it fucking I don't know. It fucking blew my mind. I love when females rap, and I love when females talking that shit. I just love. Yeah, you don't get a lot of female rappers that spit. You know what I mean, and have that, for lack of better words, je ne sais quoi. So, as this being her debut album, which is weird because she released Fever and she released Tina Snow album, and well, which I guess they consider mixtapes, but this is her debut album, Good News. So I went into it excited because with any debut album, I would think this is the great music they were holding off. This is the one that gets nominated. This is the one that separates her from the. This is the one pretty much. So going into it, I was looking forward to it. One thing though, it being called Good News and the album being packaged as tabloids and newspapers, I feel is a little bit corny. Uh, Dealing with the situation that she's dealing with now, I just felt like you didn't need to do that. I get it if that was her what do you call it? What do you call them things? Affirmations. Like if that was her thing, of man, I've been surrounded by so much bad news. I want my debut album to be called Good News. But then with artists, you could just never think that. Like I always it's always something behind the curtain and some big machine marketing team coming up with this. Even I just can't. It's just hard for me now as a consumer to believe things like this. But that was one thing I was I'm not really sure about that. But it's Megan Thee Stallion. I'm a fan, so I'm gonna still give it. I'm gonna give it a try. So going into it, Shots Fired is the first song on here. I'm pretty sure that's the one everybody was waiting for. I'm glad that she got that shit out the way. The first song on the album. Let's just talk about that shit. I know, because if she didn't, we would have been skimming through the album searching for that moment. So I'm glad that she just you know what? I know what the public wants. I'ma just say my piece, get this shit out the way, and the rest of the album can be my album. Cause nobody wants their debut album to be centered around them being shot. I mean, unless you 50 Cent. But as I was saying that, I was like, but it's 1,000 rappers who albums be. I cracked myself up. But just as a human, you don't want that. You don't want that kind of stuff surrounding. Every time you look back, you gotta remember, yeah, that was the album I got shot on. Or it's just kind of. It's just as a human, I just don't think you want that. So I'm glad she got that out the way. First track. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay away from that situation. But I'm just glad she got that out first track on the album, so she wouldn't have to touch on it. Next track is Circles. I'm like, okay, this is the Megan Thee Stallion I like. I like the flip of the Jasmine Sullivan track. I just love that track. I love the way she rapped on it. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorites on the album. So as soon as that one came out, I was like, I like this. I had to play this immediately. Crybaby featuring DaBaby. I thought these two make fucking amazing music together. Every song they're on together, I think, is a fucking smash. I think both of them bring out the best in each other, especially Megan. I think she's the thing that I love about Megan is that you can tell she loves this rap shit. It's a you could just tell the shit that she puts forward when she's on a song. Let's say DaBaby or Beyonce or City Girls or Cardi is I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna show out, and I just appreciate that shit. Cause truthfully honest with you, a lot of female verses just be, they just be fly by night kind of shit, and it's hard to find something that really sticks. That's why we gravitate towards the Nickies, the Lauryn Hills, the Kims, the Foxies, the greats. You know what I mean? They shit had it stuck to your soul a little bit more. So just the ability of rap. So I appreciate that with Megan. I think she showed up. Her verse might be better than the baby's on here. If it might be. I love that we not finally. Is this the first one? I'm trying to figure out is this the first City Girls and Megan collab? But it was great to hear them on a song together. And again, Megan shows up. Uh, I appreciate it. Like, I'm not gonna get on. I'm not or send this song to the city girls and it's not be up to par. And I appreciate that. Also appreciate that fucking JT's home and we get the city girls in their full potential and self. You know what I mean? Like the time when she was gone, it just kind of felt lackluster, like it was missing something. But them going back and forth on the verse, or JT saying the first verse, and they going back and forth, and then Young Miami does. It's just dope. Like I I love the female camaraderie with that. I love that track too. Going through it though, all right, because I try to go into this with. I hate the fact that a lot of times reviewers, especially men reviewers, when they reviewing female rap albums, they like to skate away from it. They'll say that music's not for me, and I feel like a female can easily say that about every fucking rapper there is. You know what I mean? Like this music ain't for me. Like I think that's a cop out excuse. I think the females' music should be judged just like their male counterparts. The same critiques, the same love you give those, you should do that with the female rap albums, and not say or just say that yeah, that wasn't for me, so I'm not gonna listen to that. I think that's corny. But saying that to say, I think I think with the Megan album, it's like me with trap music, right? Like I can only bear a certain amount. It's at a certain point I'm expecting to hear something other than the shit that Megan talks about. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's the route that you're going in and that's the route that you want to do. I'm always for that. I'm for it now, even as I'm doing this review. But just as a consumer and a music lover and a music listener, I just feel like it was barely any progression through here. Like every song is the same song. Like from uh, Do It on the Tip, Sugar Baby, Movie, Freaky Girls, Body, What's New, Work That, Intercourse, Go Crazy, Don't Rock Me to Sleep, Outside. Like it's all in the same vein. And I think with anything, I don't care if you're talking about killing or selling drugs or too much positive, like too much of anything is just not good for me, like as a consumer. And like it just becomes the same song over and over and over again. And not saying that she not even killing the songs or the beats are bad, but it's just like you can switch it up. Like I would love to hear, and I'm not saying that, I'm not even putting Megan in the box, but I feel like maybe her label or management is like, and I get it. Like, let's not go against what we created already. She's Miss Hot Girl, like she's the inventor of Hot Girl Summer. So like, I get her brand, and I know what her core fans want in a way, and they probably want this. But I also know that females are some of the fucking, well, they're the smartest fucking beings ever, and I know they listen to great shit. like I know they want to listen to thought provoking shit, not just thought provoking shit. I don't want to say that because that's really heavy, but just like they want shit for the soul too. Like I think Megan could do that. I mean, she could. Obviously, her career is just beginning. Who knows? She might pivot next album, and we get that. But I feel like, yo, as an artist, and this is your debut album, you went through so much. Like to get to this point, you went through so much. Like with the shit with your mom, and maybe that's too touchy, or the shit even with the Tory thing, it's like it's very rapper superhero way. Another thing that I will also say is that like I hope that she finds like someone who cares about her, because everything is kind of like I don't know. It's like everything is so like, it's not the word. It's not misogynistic, but it's very like, oh, I wish you love. Like that's all I when I was listening to it, I just felt not condescending. It's just that a therapist would probably say you need healing, because it's a lot, and I know that's very like extreme for a Megan Thee Stallion album, but this is a fucking review, and I'm listening to this shit. All the songs are pretty much like they lack depth, and it's just more fuck this nigga. I don't need love. I'm doing this because I'm a bad bitch, and it's just very, it's like, when you can see a person, that person, whether it's male or female, that's just like, out there. They doing all this stuff. Like I said, let's just, for lack of better words, they fucking, they flirting, they just out there, and it's like, oh, you need love though. Like you really need a hug. Like I get it. Like all this shit is cool. Like she even says on the song, outside, and it's like a response to Future saying like she belongs to the streets, but she like saying I don't belong to the streets, I'm from the streets, and I'm gonna do this as long as I want to. And she has a line in there that says I'm gonna show this ass because that's what they want to see on that song. And she basically like, I'm not settling down until I want to settle down. And you don't, and it's very positive. Like it's very, I guess if you want to look at it that way, it's like powerful. Like, no, nigga, you saying I belong to the streets, nigga. I am the streets, nigga. Like, don't fucking, like, I choose to do this, and I, like, that kind of thing. But I feel like it becomes too much at a point, and it's like, it becomes, to me, it starts to look like insecurities more than power. So when I'm listening to this whole thing, and it's like, yeah, it's cute, it's funny, it's quirky, it's punchlines, it's, you know, those sexual punchlines, like, I let him eat on my ass, so I called him a bottom feeder. Like it's a bunch of those, but at a certain point, to me as a fucking fan and just a listener, it's like, I wish you love. Like, you don't, 17 songs of that is kind of nuts. Like for anything you're talking about, like it's just kind of nuts. Like to me as a consumer, and at the end of it, I just felt like I felt bad. Like I felt bad. I didn't feel happy. And I know this is a happy album, but I didn't feel happy at the end. I felt sad, and I felt like I just wish you love. That's all I could. That's like all I could think of. Best songs, I'm gonna go with Circles, Crybaby, and Work That. Work That. I feel like that's that Megan I like. She was in her bag. Also, Juicy J produced some like 3 or 4 songs on this album. They should have Juicy J do a whole Megan Thee Stallion album. I think his sound and her sound just he gets it. Like he knows what she needs to be on, and I thought that was pretty dope. Worst song, Don't Rock Me to Sleep. Bro, when I say this is the worst song I ever heard in my life, this is the worst song I ever heard in my life. It's like Megan Thee Stallion's crack at a pop song and she can't sing. So it's like one of those Doja Cat kind of things, like Say So, but one of those Nicki Minaj's, like, you gotta hear it, Tanya, because this song sucks ass. Like, it's really, 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 really bad. Like, really, 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 really bad. Like, whoever said Megan Thee Stallion, you need to do this song, they should have been shot on the fucking spot. She sounds uncomfortable singing it. It just don't sound good at all. Like, if this song goes to the radio, I'm fucking riding, because this is nuts. Like, even though it's the song that's supposed to go to radio, but that song sucks so bad. Once I finish this, I'm gonna play you the song because it sucks so bad. Favorite line, she said, invest in this pussy, support black businesses. I just thought that when I heard it, I just smirked because I thought that was a fucking Megan Thee Stallion bar right there. How many fucks am I giving this album? Out of 5, I'm gonna give it a 2. And that has nothing to do. That's not no misogynistic shit. Like, I love female rappers. I just did a fucking Nicki, like, congratulations on your 10-year review. But I'm just more for quality of music. And yeah, you ain't gonna feed me shit and tell me it's steak. So don't rock me to sleep. Skip to the part that you really mean. Yeah, don't rock me. In closing, Meg, and a debut album, I just expect more. And that's from anyone. This is your debut album, but it could have been those mixtapes that you put out as well. You know what I mean? Like, it was really no growth. And maybe that's everybody in the room, your label, your management, you, everybody in the room. Like, we're not going to stray too far away from what made us great and what made them love us. And I understand that. But I think that's the problem when you got the artist debut when they were still new. I mean, like, new. The fact that we heard pretty much like 3 or 4 Megan Thee Stallion albums, quote unquote mixtapes, whatever you want to call them already. When we get the 5th one and it's the same as the first 4 or 3, and this is supposed to be your debut album, you can't expect for me to have that same compassion as I would for if this is if this is the first one I'm hearing you debut. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard for me to at this point. You on your fifth album technically, fourth, fifth album. So in my mind, it's like I expect growth. But if it's yeah, it's like it's weird. It's very like cheat codish. Like it's like I know you heard all those songs, but no, this is the first one, and then maybe after this one we'll progress and we'll go blah blah blah. But we got to get this. It's weird. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's just weird. I'm still a Megan Thee Stallion fan. Like I'm gonna listen regardless. But as a fan, and I mean like you can vouch. Like I've been vouching for Megan for at least 3 or 4 years now. So like as a fan, it kind of I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say too much. As a fan, it just feels like I don't have nothing to back up what I'm saying, like what I'm vouching for. But what do you think? Am I being too harsh on Megan Thee Stallion? Is this what the core? I feel like I'm a core Megan fan. Is this what the core fans wanted? What's some of your favorite songs? What's some of your worst songs? Let's talk about in the comments. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the subscribers to help me get over 100. I really appreciate that. Uh, yeah. As always, though, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.